The manhua starts off with our protagonist named Xiaoyu, who wakes up when a book falls down on his head. As soon as he wakes up, he remembers how he met with an accident while investigating the ruins. In a state of confusion, Xiaoyu scans his surroundings, trying to make sense of it all. To his surprise, he realizes that something has changed. His face and body feel different, as if transformed. It is revealed that Xiaoyu used to be an archaeologist before, and now he looks like an ordinary high school student. He then notices a bunch of books placed near him and wonders what kind of books they were. As soon as he tries to touch one of the books, he gets the memories of his new life in the new world he was currently in. Xiaoyu realized that he was no longer on Earth and was present on a planet called the Blue Star. On this fascinating planet, something extraordinary occurs. Beings have the potential to transform into magnificent creatures, possessing profound wisdom and incredible powers. It doesn't matter if they are an animal, a plant, a mountain, or even the wind itself. They are known as divine beasts in the eyes of Earth's inhabitants. That's not all. The people on this planet possess extraordinary abilities too, such as the remarkable skill of controlling these divine beasts. Through meditation, some individuals can tap into a unique realm within their minds, creating a space known as the Beast Familiar. Within this space, they can capture and control these remarkable creatures. With the aid of this extraordinary bond, human beings have established a magnificent civilization, marking an era in history known as the Beast Era. During this time, the divine beasts are revered as the elite class, symbolizing the pinnacle of this remarkable era. Yet beyond the realm of human civilization lies a vast territory still dominated by these extraordinary creatures. Among them, mighty and powerful beasts pose a constant threat to humanity, often unleashing devastating disasters upon them. As Xiaoyu's memories resurface, he recalls the heartbreaking loss of his entire family in this world, leaving him as an orphan due to a devastating beast tide. With this recollection, Xiaoyu realizes that even if he traverses through time, his encounters may not be any more favorable. In this new world, his name remains Xiaoyu, yet his identity no longer aligns with that of the mythologist he once was on Earth. Suddenly, a screen pops up before him, urging him to confirm his identity. To his surprise, he learns that he has been transformed into an ordinary intern pet animal breeder at the pet animal breeding base located in Icefield City. Xiaoyu finds himself engaged in various odd jobs within the breeding base, all with the singular purpose of becoming a beast master. However, despite crossing into this new world, he soon realizes that he has not escaped the burdens of car loans, mortgages, and other financial obligations. Determined to tackle his present challenges, Xiaoyu sets his sights on completing the day's task at hand. To his dismay, the assignment involves confronting a formidable adversary, the snow wolf. Known for its fierce nature and pack mentality, this carnivorous creature poses a significant danger. Xiaoyu can't help but feel uneasy about the fact that such a dangerous task falls upon a lone individual. It's revealed that Xiaoyu has an extraordinary talent as a beast master. He can communicate with any creature through telepathy. It's a pretty cool ability, allowing him to have conversations with all sorts of beings he encounters. Although telepathy may not come in handy during battles, it still holds immense importance in his journey. Xiaoyu's telepathic skill proves to be incredibly valuable in various fields like diplomacy, education, pet breeding, and research. With this ability, he realizes that getting along with the snow wolf would be much easier, so he decides to familiarize himself with the snow wolf in advance. Opening the Beast Familiar space, he discovers a book right in front of him. And guess what? He learns a new skill called Map Learn. Turns out, Xiaoyu actually has two skills. When humans open the Beast Familiar space, they awaken their own Beast Familiar talent. This talent can be either an enhanced type or a special type, with the ratio being roughly 9:1. Enhanced talents focus on strengthening specific types of pets and are usually combat-oriented. On the other hand, special talents are more complex and have a wider range. Xiaoyu's original talent, telepathy, falls into the common category of special types. While not exceptionally powerful or rare, it's incredibly handy when it comes to finding a job. His second ability allows him to copy the extraordinary abilities of other creatures and compile them into an illustrated book. These included abilities can then be freely taught to other extraordinary creatures and even fellow humans. However, there are 3 conditions for successfully copying these abilities. 1. He must witness the opponent using the ability firsthand. 2. There must be physical contact between them. And 3. The entire process from seeing the skill to making contact should happen within an hour. The teaching process requires a certain amount of strength based on the skill level, and the ability should align with Xiaoyu's own skill. A Beastmaster's strength depends on 3 factors. 1. The talent and ability development of the Beastmaster themselves. 2. Skill cheats they possess. And 3. The evolution method of the Beastmaster. Luckily, Xiaoyu's illustrated book grants him access to a plethora of skill cheats, allowing him to master a wide range of abilities. He ponders the fact that having 2 talents is rather unusual, but as a time traveler, he understands that he's not a normal person at all. As Xiaoyu's mind continues to dwell on his skills, he realizes he's running late for his mission. Stepping outside his house, he stumbles upon the meat he's supposed to feed the snow wolves. He He can't help but chuckle at the thought that these creatures eat better than humans. Just as he's about to set off, a group of men approaches him, warning him about the dangers of the snow wolves. Xiaoyu expresses gratitude for their timely warning and assures them that he'll complete his task quickly. As he walks away, he can't help but wonder about the identity of these men. He realizes that he is not very sociable and likes to stay alone in this world because of his tragic family experience. He didn't make any friends in his work environment and always walks alone. As he travels towards his location, he thinks about the most urgent thing he needs to do to get familiar with this world gradually. He believes that communication and other things come later. As Xiaoyu approached the location of the snow wolves, he couldn't help but feel a sense of panic wash over him. The sight of the snow wolves was enough to send chills down his spine. They appeared incredibly menacing and deadly. Their hunger was palpable, and it seemed as though they were cursing Xiaoyu for his tardiness. One of the wolves even made a comment about how delicious he looked, leaving Xiaoyu to wonder if he had stumbled upon them as a breeder or merely spare ingredients. Just as the snow wolves grew more interested in Xiaoyu, their attention was abruptly diverted by the arrival of the Wolf King. Xiaoyu felt a sense of relief wash over him as the Wolf King marked him, but thankfully, it was not by urinating on him as he had initially feared. In a surprising turn of events, the skill book suddenly materialized before Xiaoyu. It became apparent that he had been bestowed with the Wolf King's skill, and the marking earlier had been a means of transferring that ability to him. The skill Xiaoyu received from the Wolf King was the Copy Deterrent skill. Realizing its potential, Xiaoyu understood that he could teach this skill to any suitable pet he encountered in the future. Fortunately, Xiaoyu possessed enough powerful energy to create a Beast King if needed. Although the Wolf King noticed Xiaoyu's fearful expression, he was reassured by Xiaoyu, who claimed to be experiencing nothing but happiness at that moment. Xiaoyu informs the Wolf King that he will now provide them with food. He notices that acquiring the skill from the Wolf King has made the other snow wolves remarkably obedient. While petting one of them, Xiaoyu realizes that he can teach skills to the snow wolves and potentially create a Wolf King from scratch. However, he understands the need for caution in sharing these skills as it could lead to unnecessary problems. Instead, he decides to focus on his work and not casually distribute the skills among the snow wolves, as they cannot be copied to other skills. Xiaoyu acknowledges that apart from the intimidating Wolf King, the other snow wolves do not exhibit the same level of discipline, often using their racial skills while eating. He realizes that it is not only the Wolf King that can be cultivated, but he also detects the presence of a blue-backed eagle that has potential for cultivation. Although tempted to cultivate the eagle, Xiaoyu decides to prioritize mastering the basics first. Xiaoyu had a predetermined royal beast known as the Iron Eater, a panda from Earth that possessed the unique ability to consume metal minerals and transform them into hardened bodies. He felt content with his choice of the Iron Eater as his royal beast, speculating that it could potentially be the King Panda once it accompanied him. However, Xiaoyu was only able to acquire the Iron Ear pandas he had reserved after completing a 3-month-long internship, which was a requirement for obtaining a loan. In order to proceed with obtaining the loan, he needed to finish his internship first. Xiaoyu moved on to his next assignment, which involved observing and documenting the behavior and growth of green cotton worms. It was crucial for him to perform this task effectively. Otherwise, he would be left to face the daunting task of dealing with thousands of green worms all on his own, requiring him to start over. As Xiaoyu attempted to approach the green worms, they retaliated by attacking him with their sticky webs. Xiaoyu had a realization that he could potentially cultivate and teach skills to the green worms as well. However, as he held one of the green worms, it unexpectedly granted him a skill in return. Unfortunately, Xiaoyu soon discovered that the skill he had acquired was largely useless in most situations. Later in the evening, Xiaoyu spent time researching information about the 51 different pet animals raised in the animal breeding base of Icefield City. To his disappointment, he found that there were no perception skills that he desired to copy. The awakened skills of the pandas in the base were mostly low-level and lacked significant value for duplication. Xiaoyu remained unsure if there was an upper limit to the copying ability of his second talent. Until that limit was clarified, he decided it would be more beneficial to concentrate on acquiring mid-level and high-level skills instead. Xiaoyu's thoughts shifted towards the dandelion group in the infirmary, as their proficiency in treatment skills was exceptionally high. Upon further investigation, he discovered that not only were there numerous wild pets in the animal breeding base of Icefield City, but there were also a significant number of skilled beast masters present. Inspired by this new information, Xiaoyu made the decision to alter his goals accordingly. Later on, Xiaoyu paid a visit to the infirmary where pets capable of healing resided. He pretended to have injured his wrists and approached the doctor, explaining that he had twisted it. Concerned, the doctor advised Xiaoyu to allow her to examine his wrist. Worried if the injury would impact his work, Xiaoyu inquired about its effects. Reassuringly, the doctor assured him not to worry and promised to take care of it. To treat Xiaoyu's injury, the doctor summoned her divine beast. As Xiaoyu observed the divine beast closely, a connection was established between them. In that moment, he was blessed with yet another skill, the high-speed healing. Yu realized that by contacting the pet beast master in the breeding base, he can copy the skills of the pet beasts. He just tested absorbing the skill at that time and must complete his internship before availing more opportunities in the future. The doctor reassured Yu that his injury was minor and would not pose any significant problems. Expressing his gratitude, Yu promised to be more careful in the future. Leaving the infirmary, he made his way back to his room, contemplating the idea of purchasing some snacks for the doctor's divine pet. He found it surprising that in this world, doctors utilize divine pets even for treating minor injuries, considering it as a means to enhance the pet's skill proficiency. Furthermore, Yu realized that his own skill could be repeatedly taught to increase proficiency. As he prepared to sleep, another realization dawned upon him. Only when both the Beastmaster and their initial beast reached a certain level of proficiency could he partake in the unified assessment for Beastmasters. Passing this assessment would allow him to transition from a trainee Beastmaster to a professional one. After 3 months had elapsed, Yu's collection of skill books had reached its maximum capacity. He was grateful that he had not hastily copied low-level skills, avoiding any potential losses. Among the skills he acquired, 2 stood out: supervision and absolute sleep. Supervision was a technology that enhanced vision, which Yu believed would greatly aid him in various situations. Conversely, absolute sleep allowed a beast to enter a deep sleep state, enabling rapid stamina recovery. Yu recognized the immense usefulness of both skills and looked forward to employing them in the future. Yu became aware that in order to add new pages to his skill books, he needed to improve his beast master level through meditation. Furthermore, he realized that by upgrading his beast space, he could strengthen his beast talent. With these insights in mind, he set a goal for himself to become a professional beastmaster within a year. Having completed his internship, Yu made the decision to retrieve his Iron Eater. The bus arrived and he embarked on his journey to the base. It was revealed that the country he resided in was known as the Eastern Glorious Ancient Country, among other nations. Within this country, Icefield served as a secondary city, while Yu's hometown, flat urban area, was a suburb of Icefield City. Finally arriving at the Iron Bamboo breeding base, Yu was eager to claim his beast and commence his journey as a beast master. As Yu ascended numerous stairs, he was taken aback when he encountered a massive iron ear. It greeted him and introduced itself as Lin Xiuzhu, revealing that it was actually a staff member at the base. Yu wondered why there weren't more lively employees in such a quiet place. However, Lin clarified that she was wearing a doll costume and not actually an iron ear. Lin informed Yu that he needed to have a thorough understanding of the iron-eating beasts before he could cultivate them. Having already reviewed Yu's information, she knew that he was a graduate of the breeding major. Yu humbly admitted that he was still a newcomer and had a long way to go to match Lin's expertise. Lin then invited Yu inside to have a conversation. As Yu and Lin entered the facility, Lin completed the necessary procedures and informed Yu that he should be able to obtain his pet beast that day. However, he was taken aback when he learned that only one iron-eating beast was left for him due to his late arrival. To his surprise, Lin informed him that the remaining beast had some issues with its physique and personality. Curious and slightly concerned, Yu went to observe the iron-eating beast. Upon first glance, he concluded that it appeared quite nerdy. Lin explained that it was currently not the active season for the Iron Eaters, resulting in the larger ones being quieter. However, the smaller ones tended to be more lively during this time. As Yu approached the Iron Eater, the creature unexpectedly bumped into a tree while watching him and Lin approach. This led Yu to believe that the beast might not possess great intelligence, contrary to his initial assumption of it being normal. Lin went on to explain to Yu that this particular Iron Eater had faced a difficult birth, resulting in a slightly weaker physique compared to other Iron Eaters. While all the other iron-eating beasts from the same period had successfully awakened their hardening ability before reaching 1 year old, this Iron Eater had not. The delayed awakening indicated a lower talent in comparison. Consequently, it was the only one left unclaimed. Due to its unique circumstances, the Iron Eater's character had deviated from the norm observed in other iron-eating beasts. Typically, these creatures possess docile temperaments and rarely engage in active attacks on other creatures. In the case of the Iron Eater, Yu encountered the way it bumped into the tree was actually part of its self-imposed training. It had developed an abnormally disciplined nature and actively pushed itself in training, hoping to swiftly awaken and strengthen its hardening ability, thus becoming stronger. Among the Iron Eaters, this particular one stood out as it possessed ambition and was not lazy like the rest. Its only setback was a lack of talent. Lin assured Yu not to worry, explaining that the Iron Eater could improve itself through cultivation in the pet space. This was exactly the kind of beast Yu had been seeking, as he didn't want a lethargic and sluggish pet. With his decision made, Yu decided to claim the Iron Eater as his own. Lin then informed the Iron Eater named 11 that it had been chosen by Xiaoyu. However, 11, confident in its ability to grow stronger independently, showed little interest in becoming a pet. This prompted Lin to become upset and warned 11 not to dare run away, as it would receive no food. She reassured 11 that as a pet of a beast master, its growth would be accelerated and its hardening ability would be awakened quickly. Only when Lin mentioned the prospect of food and shelter did 11's interest peak. Eventually, Xiaoyu and 11 formed a contract, solidifying their partnership. As Xiaoyu completed the contract-making process, he couldn't help but feel a sense of exhaustion wash over him. However, in an instant, he felt his energy restored. Lin congratulated him on successfully completing the contract with 11 and offered some advice. She recommended allowing 11 to become familiar with the environment of the beast space first and advised against frequently summoning and recalling it. By quickly adapting to the surroundings of the beast's familiar space, 11 should be able to awaken its hardening ability within a week. As Xiaoyu pondered deeply, he realized that he could indeed receive power feedback from his beast, which explained how Lin was able to suppress 11 during its tantrum. Despite being weak, the feedback from the beast, no matter how small, was still substantial nourishment. Noticing Xiaoyu lost in thought, Lin inquired about his concern. Xiaoyu explained that he felt an instant improvement in his physical fitness but also a slight discomfort. Lin reassured him that the discomfort was normal for the first time and that he would soon get used to it. She then proceeded to guide him through the final procedures and handed him the cultivation manual. Lin requested Xiaoyu to provide his address so she could regularly send him tissue, a type of food that needed to be kept fresh and was not suitable for mass storage. Once the food was consumed, Xiaoyu was welcome to return and order more food specifically for the Iron Eater. Excitedly, Xiaoyu expressed his desire to visit the base again for the purpose of breeding Iron Eaters and to gain a deeper understanding of their natural living environment. Lin happily approved his request, assuring him that it would not be a problem at all. On his way home, Xiaoyu stumbled upon a somewhat run-down space that seemed suitable for training 11. Filled with excitement, he summoned 11, unable to contain his eagerness to begin training. Initially, he ordered 11 to clean the space together, but he couldn't resist the charm of the Iron Eater and ended up cleaning the area by himself. Determined to teach 11 the hardening ability, Xiaoyu focused on this skill as their first lesson. To Xiaoyu's surprise, 11 was able to awaken its hardening ability much quicker than anticipated. Despite not spending much time inside the beast space, 11's growth showed remarkable progress. Xiaoyu then decided to try the repeated teaching of the skill book. Based on 11's current hardening state, it was still at the entry level of proficiency. Typically, a low-level skill would require dedicated practice from the introductory stage to the proficient stage, often taking at least a month of serious training. Xiaoyu pondered how many days of proficiency in using the skill map would be equivalent to one lesson of learning. Additionally, he noticed that teaching with the skill illustration book seemed to consume physical energy. Determined to find a nearby test subject, Xiaoyu soon spotted a green worm on a tree. Without hesitation, he decided to use it as an immediate practice target. Instructing 11, he requested that it gently retrieve the worm, treating it as its first battle after learning the skills. 11 was pleasantly surprised by the relatively simple task assigned by Xiaoyu. It swiftly climbed up the tree and gently held the green worm, presenting it to Xiaoyu. Delighted with 11's display of skill, Xiaoyu recognized the importance of not letting go of such a valuable test subject. When the green worm attempted to escape, Xiaoyu promptly caught hold of it, ensuring that it wouldn't go anywhere. He was determined to keep a firm grip on the worm for further training purposes. Xiaoyu realized that the green silkworm's silk was still too weak for training purposes. To motivate the tiny creature, he resorted to a stern threat, warning it to be obedient or face being fed to 11. The Iron Eater, already curious and drooling, contemplated whether the green silkworm was edible or not. Seeing the potential teachability of the green silkworm, Xiaoyu decided to establish a contract with it as well. However, after completing the contract, he felt a deep sense of fatigue, coupled with a growling hunger. Overwhelmed, he longed for a good night's sleep and a satisfying meal. As Xiaoyu observed his second pattern on the green worm, he wondered if his teaching had been successful. However, his curiosity was interrupted when the green worm bound his hands with its stronger worm silk and attempted to escape. Although the silk had been strengthened, it was still not strong enough to restrain Xiaoyu effectively. He quickly freed himself and caught the escaping green worm once more. Trying to calm down the panicking silkworm, which was perplexed by how Xiaoyu had escaped its silk, he pondered whether the green worm's proficiency had leveled up from entry level to proficiency level. The strength of its silk was now comparable to that of high-quality green cotton worms cultivated with spiritual plants in the breeding base. While it might not match their growth level, the proficiency of the worm's silk was undoubtedly the highest. Xiaoyu speculated that the green silkworm's improvement in skill proficiency might be due to a deeper understanding of racial skills, driving its own strength to grow and undergoing a second awakening transformation. Alternatively, it could be a result of him imparting a portion of his power as feedback while teaching the skill. Regardless of the exact experiment's outcome, Xiaoyu concluded that it was a success. Analyzing the energy consumption, Yu deemed it manageable. He checked his skill book to find another skill he could teach the green silkworm. However, he was surprised to discover that overusing his teaching could leave him susceptible to draining. To recover, he would need to enter cooldown mode, which would last for 8 hours. Realizing the importance of properly utilizing his skill book, Yu resolved to engage in regular exercise to enhance his physical endurance and stamina. Yu discovered that a non-entry-level skill required an 8-hour recovery period, while a low-level skill might take 1 or 2 days to recover fully. This made him ponder how the recovery periods work for mid-level, high-level, and super-level skills. Additionally, Yu contemplated the possibility of foods or supplements that could potentially speed up the recovery period. He wondered if there were any means to enhance the recovery process and reduce the time required to regain his teaching abilities. Overall, Yu sought to better understand the recovery periods for different skill levels and explore any potential methods to expedite the recovery process. Feeling a combination of hunger and fatigue, Yu recognized that it was already late. He made the decision to head home and prepare shredded pork with bamboo shoots and white rice for dinner. Before leaving, he instructed 11 to rest and wait for him until he called for its attention. 11, driven by its newly awakened hardening ability, expressed that it was not in the mood to rest and felt behind its peers. Yu acknowledged that 11 indeed had a few screws loose in its head, as Lin had mentioned before. Yu then asked 11 if it felt like it had received enough training yet, assuring it that there was no need to rush as the circumstances of that day were unique. He encouraged 11 to take a good rest. Agreeing with Yu's perspective, 11 decided to heed his advice. Yu realized that there wasn't enough training equipment available for 11 at the moment. However, he quickly came to the realization that 11 needed to practice the maintenance, retraction, and release of the hardening ability. It was essential for 11 to quickly harden a specific part of its body in the shortest possible time as a starting point. Yu instructed 11 to set aside other matters and focus solely on the task he had given it. Recognizing that repeatedly hitting the wall for training was not a feasible option, Yu devised a plan to quickly earn money in order to buy training equipment for 11. He decided to focus on cultivating green silkworms and improving the quality of the silk they produced. By producing higher quality silk, you could sell it at a higher price. Yu also made the decision to cultivate and train the green silkworm alongside 11. Lost in daydreams of the wealth he could accumulate from selling high-quality silk extracted from the green silkworm, Yu became motivated to pursue this venture. Later, at home, Yu felt extremely exhausted after having dinner and taking a bath. He noticed 11 sleeping on his bed, refusing to eat until it finished training. Yu understood that 11 must have a fear of being abandoned if she didn't work hard. However, he reassured 11 that he would never abandon it, no matter what. Yu then transferred 11 to the beast space to allow it to rest properly. As he lay down to sleep, he realized that he didn't have a phone or computer to occupy his time as he was currently experiencing financial difficulties. The following morning, Yu woke up feeling refreshed and energized. He made the decision to visit a supplement store to stock up on the supplements he needed. Instructing 11 to continue sleeping, he assured her that he would handle the shopping himself. With that, Yu set out on his shopping trip. Before heading out, Yu greeted the green worm and noticed a leaf that had been rolled up with worm silk inside the green worm's cage. This observation led him to conclude that the green silkworm was indeed a strange creature. Yu noticed that while other green silkworms actively searched for nutritious plants to grow and evolve, this particular green silkworm seemed disinterested in such pursuits. It solely relied on the persimmon tree leaves in Yu's house and lacked connection to the outside world. He realized that the green silkworm had been malnourished, and without his intervention and teaching, it might not undergo a second transformation in its lifetime. Recognizing the significance of providing better food, Yu decided to gather various common plants to improve the green silkworm's diet. He understood that by enhancing its nutrition, he could support its growth and development effectively. Since he won't be able to afford spiritual plants and precious fruits in the breeding base that could promote the growth of the green silkworm, he'll have to use the common plants, and they're also ample. Yu can't let the green silkworm die of starvation, as it would be his future silk supplier. As Yu ventured into the city, he was taken aback by the sight, as he had no previous memory of it. Suddenly, he noticed a girl chasing after her jewel cat. This encounter made him realize that beast pets were not easily controllable. Many beast masters preferred owning cats as pets because no contract had been formed between them. The jewel cat he had just witnessed was kept purely as a pet, without any additional purposes. The evolution of a jewel cat's pupil technique required the activation of different types of cat's eye gems, which were currently priced higher than bow stones. Cats themselves were also quite expensive. Gem cats without cat's eye gems could only be kept as ordinary pets, while those with cat's eye gems were considered high-quality battle pets. After a search, Yu finally located the desired supplement store. Curious about the silk produced by the green silkworms, he inquired about its value from the shop owner. The owner explained that only high-grade silk produced by green silkworms fed specific medicinal plants could be sold. To assist Xiao Yu, the owner handed him a small notebook containing a list of medicinal materials that he could purchase for his green silkworm. Realizing that he could financially support the cultivation of 11 and potentially gain financial freedom, Xiao Yu requested 2 bottles of a medicine to provide for the green silkworm's needs. Back at home, Xiao Yu examined the medicine he had purchased from the supplement store, one of which was the Mingxian capsule. This capsule had a simple yet effective purpose. It was primarily used to alleviate symptoms of bodily weakness and enhance physical fitness. It had the ability to keep the user awake even in a weakened state, providing a sense of ease. The medicine was reputed to have excellent effects, and many beast masters would take one after a battle to feel immediately refreshed. Although Xiao Yu's current financial situation didn't allow him to treat this medicine like QQ candy, he recognized its potential to reduce physical exertion during skill teaching with its usage. Xiao Yu summoned 11 and observed that it appeared more energetic and refreshed compared to before. He attributed this positive change to 11's rest in the beast space. However, when 11 expressed its desire to train and practice continuously for 6 hours, Xiao Yu advised it not to rush and emphasized the importance of maintaining a balance between work and rest. Xiao Yu believed that 11 didn't fully comprehend that the energy it absorbed from the beast's familiar space also came from him. Therefore, he encouraged 11 to be more considerate and mindful of its master. On one hand, he needed to meditate and strengthen the space where the beast was guarding. On the other hand, he wanted to use the skill book. He asked 11 to wait briefly while he caught his breath, promising to teach it about absolute sleep soon. Once he felt ready, he would let 11 train as much as it wanted. He began teaching 11 the hardening technique, which exhausted him. Luckily, he had medicine with him and took one to restore his energy. In the meantime, 11 was able to use the hardening skill properly this time. However, the increased power caused damage to the ground below. Xiao Yu asked 11 if it still needed to rush into training and work even harder now that its potential had been revealed. 11 was surprised because it had become strong and improved its hardening skill without intense training. 11 considered this approach unscientific and felt uneasy about its current proficiency level. Xiao Yu offered to take it back, but 11 refused, believing it could make up for not earning it on its own. It decided to punish itself by training non-stop for 24 hours a day, even sacrificing sleep. Xiao Yu was amazed by 11's self-discipline. Meanwhile, Xiao Yu noticed that the skill book had a longer cooldown time, requiring a day of rest before teaching the next round of skills. 11's hardening skills had reached a proficient level, greatly improving durability, stability, and the maximum duration of half a minute. The retracting speed had also improved. 11's main focus now was quickly using hardening weapons and covering multiple body parts with hardening. Mastering this would provide defense and offense in battle. To train hardening, Xiao Yu realized that training equipment for pet beasts was expensive. He decided to search for a cost-effective alternative. 11 was already undergoing significant training, which consumed a lot of the beast master's space. The beast space had 3 elements: strength, scale, and environment. Strength determined the restrictiveness of the pet space, suitable for pet masters who constantly upgraded their pets. Scale indicated the number of contracted beasts, ideal for those who preferred group battles. Environment determines the pet's growth efficiency. A better environment meant faster growth. Considering Xiao Yu and 11's situation, creating a favorable growth environment for 11 became the main focus. 11 didn't require the restraint of the beast-fearing space as it was born in a formal breeding base. It also didn't need to contract a second beast or worry about the scale of the beast monitoring space. The top priority was to build a comfortable environment for 11's growth. Once the Beastmaster space added absolute sleep, 11 could train effortlessly without straining its body. With 11's self-discipline and the assistance of the beast's familiar space, it was estimated that it would fully mature in a short time. However, Xiao Yu realizes that at that stage, the cost of food for 11 will likely double. Yet, if 11 can grow rapidly and become strong enough to fight alone, everything will still be worth it. The next day, Xiao Yu receives the high-strength alloy steel plates he had ordered. The seller assures him that they will replace any faulty plates. Xiao Yu decides to test the quality by using 11's strength. As he summons 11, he senses a new and unfamiliar sensation. It is revealed that 11 has undergone its 4th awakening transformation. Now, Xiao Yu is convinced that improving the environment of the beast familiar space indeed yields remarkable results. Xiao Yu is now one step closer to becoming a professional beastmaster. To celebrate their success, he decided to buy delicious food. Overjoyed, Xiao Yu planned to give 11 extra food as a reward for its hard work. He informed 11 that intense hardening training could now begin. However, the current environment wasn't suitable for 11 to use his hardening ability to destroy things. So 11 suggested that Shy Yu hit with something hard, but Shy Yu lacked the bravery to do so. Instead, he revealed that he had prepared steel plates for 11 to smash. If 11 felt dissatisfied with its strength or the training effect wasn't apparent, it could stack the plates on the ground for added difficulty. The plan was for 11 to harden its entire body and jump down on the plates with maximum force. Shy Yu named this method the fall training method. By adjusting the jump height, 11 could vary the intensity of the training. Once 11 could jump from the clouds without sustaining any damage, it would become invincible. 11 began training and effortlessly smashed the steel plates. As 11 trained, Shy Yu contemplated the effectiveness of the steel plate training. 11's hardening skill had reached a proficient level, and this training further enhanced its hardening strength through tempering. Additionally, the steel plates served as backup food for 11, as it had the ability to eat and digest metal substances. Meanwhile, the green silkworm had also undergone its fourth awakening transformation, reaching the fourth level of awakening. It had reached a proficiency level where its strength was comparable to that of a fishing line. The future growth of the green silkworm looked promising. With the supplement, Shy Yu could train both 11 and the green silkworm simultaneously. Now 11 could use the hardening skill freely with the ability to flow seamlessly. It was finally time for Shy Yu to see the results of their training efforts. Shy Yu went out and told 11 to stop training in the afternoon and rest and eat more. After that, they will go to combat. For a pet beast to grow, there are 3 primary ways: food, training, and fighting. However, Shy Yu and 11 at their current stage do not engage in life-threatening battles. Their fights are restricted to regulated venues with rules where evenly matched beasts compete. Shy Yu has no intention of entering dangerous locations to fight stronger beasts. Instead, he focuses on steady development with the help of a skill book. Soon both 11 and the green silkworm will be able to venture into the wild to battle more powerful creatures. However, to become a professional beastmaster, Shy Yu needs to undergo additional assessments, including a field survival assessment. Currently, he doesn't prioritize personal field battles due to the inherent danger involved. If he ever desires to fight in the wilderness, he can participate in the field experience programs organized by the Beastmaster Association. Eventually, Shy Yu arrives at a place that provides battle venues within the battlefield hall, but below the extraordinary level. There he has the option to choose between agreed battles or random battles, which provides him with opportunities for growth and development. Shy Yu has 2 options for battles: agreed battles and random battles. In agreed battles, Shy Yu can schedule battles in advance with chosen candidates. The venue, referee, and medical services are provided. For random battles, Shy Yu needs to provide basic information, and opponents will be randomly selected for him. Additional services are also provided. Random battles are divided into 2 groups based on the level of the Beastmaster's pets, levels 1 to 6 and levels 7 to 10. Opponents are matched within a suitable range based on Shy Yu's pet's level. Venue fees are expensive, but Shy Yu believes they are worth it. Additionally, a gambling contract is involved. Both sides can bet on the fighting money, and the loser will pay the venue usage fee for both parties. The loser must pay 200 yuan, while the winner pays nothing. Shy Yu decides to participate in random battles with betting, specifically targeting opponents with pets below level 6. Since Shy Yu's pet 11 is currently at level 5, this decision is made. After filling out the form, Shy Yu receives a card and is instructed to wait in the lobby. Once a suitable opponent is found, their names and the venue number will be displayed on the lobby screen. After a while, Shy Yu is matched with a beastmaster named Chen Kai, and they are prompted to go to the 11th battlefield. The venue administrator explains the rules, and the battle begins promptly when the 2 opponents come across each other. As the battle begins, Chen Kai calls forth his beast, capturing the attention of the crowd inside the building. All eyes are now on the rookie showdown between Chen Kai and Shy Yen. Among the spectators, a girl named Zhuang Yu recognizes Chen Kai as her classmate. Curious, Zhuang Yu's friend asks her who is stronger between her and Chen Kai. Zhuang Yu explains that it's difficult to make a direct comparison because there are only a few classmates who surpass him in strength. She mentions that his ice-armored beast has reached level 6, and he possesses great skill in utilizing the racial skills Ice Claw and Ice Armor. When her friend asks about Shy Yen, Zhuang Yu explains that Shy Yen's beast is not higher than level 6. She mentions that she personally possesses an Iron Eater beast. Zhuang Yu believes that Shy Yu will likely lose to Chen Kai because unless Shy Yu has mastered the proficiency level of hardening, it will be challenging to break through the anti-ice armor. The Iron Eater beast is known for its ability to consume iron, making it a formidable opponent. At this growth level, the hardening skills of Iron Eaters are mostly at an entry level. Zhuang Yu reflects that if she had the chance to choose again, she would definitely not choose an Iron Eater due to its cuteness and laziness. This type of beast tends to be too lazy, and training it can be a painful process. Even if it reaches the proficiency level, it may still struggle to combat the ice-armored beast. It's important to note that the Ice Armored Beast's 2 racial skills have also been trained to the proficiency level. While the overall quality of an adult Iron Eater surpasses that of an adult Ice Armored Beast, the Iron Eater Xiaoyu possesses is still a cub, hence it may not have reached its full potential yet. As the battle commences, Xiaoyu's 11 surprises Chen Kai with its hardening skill, successfully evading the Ice Armored Beast's attack. Xiaoyu quickly seizes the opportunity and commands 11 to counterattack. To Chen Kai's astonishment, 11 manages to break through the Ice Armored Beast's defense, dealing a significant blow. Chen Kai's Ice Armored Beast was knocked out, and he couldn't believe he lost to Xiaoyu. He thought 11's progress was unscientific. On the other hand, Xiaoyu was incredibly happy but unaware of his own exceptional performance. He felt the need to find a stronger opponent to truly test his strength. Zhuangyu was surprised to see 11 win so easily and wondered if Shiyu was a skilled hidden pet master training a new pet. Otherwise, she suspected he had simply used top-level nutrition methods on his pet, like a rich second-generation pet master. Chen Kai was still puzzled by his loss to Xiaoyu. The battle's administrator announced Xiaoyu as the winner. After the match, Xiaoyu introduced himself to Chen Kai. Chen Kai was surprised to learn that Xiaoyu came from Icefield City, where the education level was not as high as in the city center. Students with excellent grades would often desperately apply to schools in the city to access better educational resources. Although Chen Kai was considered a good student in Pingxing, he realized there was still a significant gap between him and students from the city. It seemed that Xiaoyu was one of the most exceptional young beast masters, even in the urban area. As Chen Kai was not saying anything to Xiaoyu, he left. The administrator informed Chen Kai that he had to pay the entry fee on behalf of Xiaoyu since he lost the match. Xiaoyu was disappointed when he learned from the staff that he wouldn't be able to fight across different levels in the Beastmaster battles. The reason for this restriction was that the Beastmaster could only choose opponents based on the growth level of their pet beast. The staff explained that opponents wouldn't want to fight someone weaker than themselves, hence the limitation. The staff further informed Xiaoyu that there were 2 possible ways for him to engage in battles across different levels. Firstly, he could participate in group battles in the battle arena levels 7 to 10. This would allow him to face opponents from various growth levels. Alternatively, if Xiaoyu had an opponent in mind whom he wanted to fight, the staff could arrange a rental venue for them. This way, they could battle each other despite their different growth levels. In response to this information, Xiaoyu decided to visit the Beastmasters Association to gather more details and explore his options. The Beastmasters Association serves the purpose of accepting and issuing task rewards to Beastmasters. Here, trainee Beastmasters can take on tasks and receive payment upon completion. These tasks are carefully selected by the association and are designed to exercise various abilities of the Beastmaster. In a way, these tasks are similar in nature to the field training conducted by the Hepping City Master Association every 3 months for trainee Beastmasters. Both methods aim to train and develop local Beastmasters. Regardless of the city, there is a shared desire for an increased number of professional Beastmasters who are stronger in their skills. Both missions and field training are essential in laying a solid foundation for trainee Beastmasters. However, tasks below the Transcendent level primarily focus on training both the Beastmasters and their beast pets. The main goal is to provide a training ground, which is often expensive and limited in availability. It's worth noting that in the same amount of time, one can potentially earn more money by having iron-eating beasts carried bricks instead of training at the association. In the current situation, the primary focus for Xiaoyu is finding a suitable actual combat target among the tasks available at the association, rather than solely making money. Even if there aren't specific combat-oriented tasks, there are other tasks suitable for training his beast 11. It's important to consider 11's physical and mental well-being and avoid confining him to home training all the time. Xiaoyu came to the realization that bringing 11 to the association for battles was a good choice because it brought happiness to 11. This way, Xiaoyu could provide an engaging and stimulating environment for 11 while also pursuing their training goals. After winning the battle, Xiaoyu checked the rewards he had received and found them to be quite satisfactory. He also explored the available missions for 11. Among them, capturing live wind locusts seemed like a suitable mission for 11 initially. However, after careful consideration, Xiaoyu concluded that the groundhog's capturing mission would be a better fit for 11's abilities. Just as Xiaoyu was contemplating this decision, he coincidentally encountered Chen Kai, who was also at the association selecting a mission. Xiaoyu shared his plan to hunt the groundhogs with Chen Kai, who suggested forming a group to tackle the mission together. Chen Kai offered to join Xiaoyu if he couldn't find anyone else to join them. Excited by the idea, Xiaoyu agreed to form a team with Chen Kai. Chen Kai took the initiative and decided to call 2 of his classmates, forming a team of 4. Back at home, Xiaoyu and 11 enjoyed a satisfying meal. Yu then approached 11, expressing his intention to teach him a new skill. This skill was called supervision, and it involved activating 11's mental power to enhance his vision significantly. With this ability, 11 would experience a considerable improvement in his overall vision, particularly during nighttime when his night vision would become exceptionally clear. Once Yu taught 11 this skill, his training sessions in the dark became noticeably easier. Yu expressed his hope that 11 wouldn't smash any steel plates during the night since he needed to get some sleep. Meanwhile, Chen Kai engaged in a conversation with two of his classmates, Yu included, about joining him on a mission. The following morning, the group assembled, ready to embark on their mission. Chen Kai introduced his classmates to Yu, and after a brief introduction of their respective pet beasts, the group seemed to believe that 11 had exaggerated about his own pet beast. However, Yu assured them that once they witnessed 11's dedication, they would come to understand it. Chen Kai then informed the group that they would register for the mission fiesta and commence at 8 o'clock. While riding the bus, Chen Kai inquired of Yu whether he was a professional beastmaster. However, the group was shocked when Yu revealed that he was merely a breeding professional. According to Yu, engaging in fights and killings was considered vulgar, whereas nurturing and developing skills were the noble path. He explained that raising a professional animal master required a meticulous approach to training and achieving a proficient level of expertise in hardening skills. In no time, the group arrived at the village of Bakesea, where their mission involved combating the mice. They were provided with uniforms to wear for the mission. Gathering together, each member summoned their respective pet beasts, getting ready to commence the mission. Yu noticed 11's healthy appearance and questioned Yu if he was from the bamboo breeding base due to 11's condition. She then went on to ask if Yu was an apprentice at the Bamboo Stone Martial Arts Academy. Yu denied both assumptions. Yu proceeded to explain to the group that the Iron Bamboo Breeding Base served as a breeding facility for iron-eating beasts, while the Bamboo Stone Martial Arts Hall was a special place dedicated to training beastmasters who had formed contracts with these iron-eating beasts. The current owner of the Bamboo Stone Martial Art Museum was a highly skilled beastmaster specializing in cultivating iron-eating beasts. Those who possessed such unique beasts often claimed to be beastmasters from the Bamboo Stone Martial Art Museum, which led Yu to suspect that Yu might be a direct disciple of Jishi martial arts. Chen Kai informed the group that the most formidable beastmaster in the area was Master Lin, and her daughter Xiuzhu had recently returned to Pingcheng after specializing in breeding. Xiuzhu shared that she pursued this field of study to explore the possibility of iron-eating beasts evolving once again, though the outcome of her research remained unknown. Yu then revealed that he had already located groundhogs, prompting the group to work together with their pet beasts to capture one. They successfully accomplished the task, but Yu Jingjing commented on how their success was largely thanks to Shuyi's 11. Without 11's assistance, the groundhogs would have escaped. Yu Jingjing expressed disappointment in herself and her pet beast, as they had failed to capture any groundhogs during their initial attempt. It was revealed that the reward for capturing a single groundhog was merely 10 yuan. Even if Shuyi were to eliminate 100 groundhogs each day, his income would barely cover his expenses. The group decided to split up and work individually, following their discussed strategy on the bus. They planned to meet again at noon after finishing their tasks. Chen Kai suggested that going separately into the forest to hunt for groundhogs would be beneficial, as it would speed up the hunting process. The farmland and surrounding forests were too large to cover together. They agreed to reunite whenever someone discovered a large group of groundhogs that they couldn't handle alone. As Yu and 11 arrived at the designated clearing location, Yu informed 11 that their goal was to capture approximately 20 groundhogs before noon. However, 11's enthusiasm was off the charts, as he wanted to catch a whopping 200 groundhogs. Yu cautioned 11 that while he was free to catch as many groundhogs as he desired, he must avoid damaging other people's crops and fruit trees. Doing so would not only result in no profit, but also a loss. Given their limited funds, they could only deduct the damages from 11's food expenses. Yu instructed 11 to temporarily put aside his hardened ability and focus on improving his reaction ability through physical fitness training. He informed 11 that all the rewards they obtained would be used for extra meals for him. Following the instructions, 11 diligently got to work and swiftly captured a significant number of groundhogs. After 2 hours, when the group reconvened, they were amazed to find 11 still actively capturing groundhogs. Yu explained to the group that 11 was using this opportunity to train while capturing the groundhogs. Compared to his previous training sessions, this task was relatively easy for 11. He had already caught 22 groundhogs, taking around 5 minutes per capture, while the rest of the group had captured fewer than 10. Yu then suggested that they take a break, have some lunch, and rest. As they sat down to eat and rest, 11 continued his hunting. Yu remarked that she had never seen such an energetic iron eater at the bamboo breeding base. Chen Kai commented on Shu Yi's unusual habits such as carrying supplements and his pet beast not sleeping at noon, but instead continuing to practice. He expressed his curiosity about how Yu managed to teach 11 such self-discipline. Yu explained to Chen Kai that the supplements were consumed by his skill book, and as for 11, it was purely coincidental. 11 had always been incredibly hardworking from the beginning, and Yu hadn't done anything specific to instill that quality in him. Chen Kai got excited and said he would train his ice-armored beast just as intensely as 11. Yu Jingjing joined in, mentioning that she planned to buy Mioshin capsules from the pharmacy and stay up late studying. When Chen Kai asked about Yu's plans, Yu explained that his main goal was to prepare for the professional Beastmaster assessment. While being a professional breeder could earn him a lot of money, it also put his talents at risk, making him vulnerable to capture or even death. Although there were laws in the country, there was a clear division between senior Beastmasters and regular people. In the past, Yu couldn't protect himself well, so he believed it was important not to reveal his talents without caution. His plan was to take the professional Beastmaster assessment first, where he could learn from more advanced beasts and their skills, improving his own combat abilities. Surviving in their dangerous world required becoming a professional Beastmaster and increasing his own strength. Yu mentioned that even if he failed the upcoming exam, he could try again in the future. Obtaining the professional certificate quickly was essential to reduce his financial pressure. During their conversation, Chen Kai mentioned that the transition from the awakening period to the extraordinary level had an unknown number of obstacles. Crossing the gate to become extraordinary depended entirely on one's ability to overcome those obstacles. Yu added that while reaching the extraordinary level might be challenging, reaching level 10 in the awakening stage shouldn't be a problem. Even if someone couldn't reach the extraordinary level, it was still possible to participate in the professional assessment at the awakening level. People with great strength have always enjoyed significant privileges. It was actually the leapfrog challenge. If someone couldn't reach the extraordinary level, they could choose to go that route. Pet beasts with high proficiency skills and advanced level skills would find it easier to take on the leapfrog challenges. Just then, an announcement was made about a yellow warning signal for approaching animal swarms heading towards the village. The number of ferocious beasts gathering outside the city walls was increasing. Everyone was advised to follow defense guidelines and make necessary preparations. However, Yu didn't consider the danger to be significant. Chen Kai suggested checking the situation themselves, but Zhuang Yu warned against going outside the city at this time. Yu decided they should head back to the association. On their way, they encountered Zhuang Yu and Chen Kai's teacher, Zhang. Concerned about the beast tide warning, Chen Kai asked Zhang about the severity of the situation. Zhang requested they step outside for a quieter conversation. Zhang explained that there was a significant difference compared to 10 years ago. The protective facilities around their area had improved, and if the Pingqing Association's strength wasn't sufficient for defense, Beastmasters from the city would come to support. If even the city's best guard corps couldn't handle it, nearby cities' beast guard corps would quickly provide assistance. The current gathering of ferocious beasts was smaller in scale and less powerful than the sudden change 10 years ago. Yu mentioned that food scarcity and intense competition typically cause animal swarms, but these reasons didn't seem to apply to the Snow Mountain beast tide. Zhang agreed and mentioned an unsolved mystery related to the beast tide 10 years ago. According to archaeological findings, 2,000 years ago, the surrounding mountains of Icefield City were covered in snow. It was the territory of an ancient country's well-developed Beastmaster tribe. However, an ice dragon arrived and triggered a little ice age, causing suffering for the tribe. They formed a battle department and waged a prolonged war against the ice dragon in the mountains. Legends spoke of a snow mountain where the ice dragon relic and its bone were sealed. It was believed that the sealed ice dragon's spirit influenced the ferocious beasts in the snow-capped mountains, driving them to seek revenge on the city. Zhang then led the group to see one of the ancient artifacts discovered by archaeologists, an excavated stone giant believed to be the totem of the ancient tribe. Suddenly, Yu heard a voice emanating from the stone giant, but he was the only one who could hear it. Yu speculated that the stone giant may have become enchanted. If it had evolved into an extraordinary being, it would have likely attracted the attention of other Beastmasters long ago, considering the significant number of people present in the area. In places like the Beastmaster Association and Senator Master locations, telepathic Beastmasters can often be found among them. Zhang assured the group that they shouldn't worry too much about the Beast Tide, as their Beastmasters could handle even the revived Ice Dragon if necessary before leaving. Chen Kai wanted to resume capturing groundhogs, but Yu had to leave for urgent matters. Later, Yu was at the library, where he learned about the world's history divided into 3 eras: the Age of Mythology, the Totem Era, and the Era of Beasts. The Age of Mythology was when the first mythical creatures ruled the planet. The Totem Era was when humans coexisted with powerful creatures across different territories. The Era of Beast Control was when humans began mastering the ability to control beasts, with ancient and modern periods within it. Over 100 years ago, 7 human nations united, marking a significant turning point. Despite this framework, there were still gaps and mysteries in the world's history. For example, the disappearance of the first mythical creatures and the events in Icefield City 2,000 years ago remain unexplained. Although Xiaoyu didn't find the specific information he was looking for, he discovered many records during his search. Xiaoyu looked back on his past as an archaeologist but changed his profession to become a mythologist due to his curiosity. He traveled to different ruins and ancient sites, exploring the mysteries of mythology. Unfortunately, a tragic accident claimed his life. Now Xiaoyu longed for a more satisfying life, wanting to embrace joy and happiness to the fullest. Although the world's history held more mysteries and a realistic mythology system, he understood that he couldn't continue his previous path. Later, he goes back again to the stone giant and tries to talk to it. When Xiaoyu tried to communicate with the giant stone statue, it remained silent. However, when he mentioned returning the historical truth, the statue suddenly exploded, causing Xiaoyu to quickly run away. The tremors from the explosion were felt by the people in the city, leading some to believe it might be a beast tide while others thought it could be an earthquake. The chairman of the city was also unsure about what was happening, but remained confident that it wasn't a serious situation. Back at home, Shuyi focused on feeding 11, hoping he would grow stronger quickly. He decided to stay at home and avoid getting involved in anything dangerous. Shuyi felt foolish for attempting to talk to the giant stone and didn't want to venture out unnecessarily. His plan was to only go out to get medicine and groceries and keep a low profile. He also fed the green silkworm, hoping it would produce high-quality silk. Shuyi realized that even after teaching supervision, his stamina remained strong, but now another incident had occurred. He decided to go to sleep, hoping for a normal day ahead. The following morning, Xiaoyu checked 11's progress and was pleased with how far he had come. Xiaoyu realized that out of the 6 collected skills, Eternance and Absolute skills had not been taught yet. These 2 skills were of a high level and required greater consumption. Their focus now would be on strengthening the proficiency of the skills they had already mastered. Shuyi planned for 11 to spar with the green worm throughout the day. If 11 practiced well, Xiaoyu would provide additional meals as a reward. Xiaoyu recognized that the green worm's silk could be utilized in various techniques such as silk and rays. Although their current power wasn't strong enough to penetrate even the clothes purchased from stalls, the speed was still impressive. Xiaoyu left the 2 to train and went grocery shopping. Outside, he overheard people discussing the loud noise they heard the day before and the closure of the Beast Familiar Association. Xiaoyu realized that in his previous world, there were no means to discover abnormal events without cameras. However, in this world, there were many new ways to track down suspects. Determined not to give up until he knew what truly happened, Xiaoyu resolved to investigate further. Meanwhile, the members of the association arrived at the site of the explosion and discovered a hidden space. Dr. Liu expressed uncertainty about the situation and informed everyone that they still had limited information to uncover the truth about the history of the ice fields. With the emergence of the secret space, they hoped to gather more information. The association members suspected that the secret space was not a natural occurrence, but rather the result of someone with a special ability to listen to the voice of history. Back at home, 11 successfully mastered the combination of high-speed healing, supervision, and hardening skills. Xiaoyu decided to go out and purchase some supplements. However, when he visited the store, the owner advised him to exercise self-control and not buy supplements too frequently. Curious about the closure of the association and the loud noise from the previous night, Xiaoyu inquired with the store owner. The owner informed him that a secret realm had appeared in their city overnight. Xiaoyu was confused by the sudden appearance of a new realm, and the owner of the realm clarified that it was a separate space independent of their current surroundings. To help Xiaoyu understand, he used his own beast monitoring space as an example, which existed as an independent realm. The owner revealed that the predecessor of this secret realm was actually the beast taming space. It was said that the beast taming space would collapse after the death of a beast tamer. In certain cases, the beast taming space can persist even after the death of a powerful beast tamer. Under the will of the beast tamer, it can transform into an independent secret space, often referred to as a small world. In this state, the secret space no longer binds extraordinary creatures and becomes a completely autonomous realm. Any living being can enter, and the environment inside remains suitable for the growth of individual pets based on the beast tamer's development level. Though slightly weakened compared to the beast master space, it still retains its value as a treasure land with abundant energy, ideal for nurturing spiritual plants and pet animals. The owner of the store believes that if it was a real secret space, there must be many rare resources or pets in it. After returning home, Xiaoyu is apprehensive about exploring the dangerous secret realm, even though he had promised others he would do so. At that moment, Dr. Liu pays him a visit and begins asking him questions about the shattering of the stone statue and the voice he heard from it. Xiaoyu avoids her questions and instead inquires if the statue was a living being. Dr. Liu clarifies that the stone statue is an inanimate object, but she explains the concept of spirit or traces of history. According to her, some inanimate objects can bear the beliefs, convictions, will, and emotions of living beings over time, giving rise to an illusionary concept known as spirit. Telepaths with special abilities might have a chance to hear these traces, and they are often referred to as beastmasters in archaeological circles. Impressed by Xiaoyu's talents, Dr. Lu expresses a wish to recruit him into her team as an archaeologist. Xiaoyu was shown arguing with Dr. Lu about his lack of interest in pursuing an archaeology job. However, Dr. Lu assured him that she wasn't pressuring him to join the Archaeological Association. She explained that there were only 11 known individuals in the entire ancient country who could listen to the voice of history, including Xiaoyu. This number was fewer than the legendary Beastmasters and even fewer than the number of domestic creatures. The organization itself had reincarnated him into that world, so it was important for him to have a genuine passion for the field. Without that passion, it would be impossible to hear the voice of the stone statue. In the entire ancient Donghuang country, there were only 11 people who possessed the ability to listen to the voice of history. After considering the offer, Xiaoyu decided to accept Dr. Lu's offer to join the organization. He asked her about the benefits, and Dr. Lu explained that the benefits were exceptional, even if he were to become a legendary Beastmaster. The benefits he would receive there would not compare to what he would get as a member of the organization. As an official member, his status would still be higher than that of the legendary Beastmaster. If Xiaoyu wanted to explore ruins, he could apply for substantial resources and even have a legendary Beastmaster as his bodyguard. The president of the Beastmaster Association in Icefield City, for example, was only a top master and had not reached the legendary class level. The legendary level was a superior rank that allowed control over powerful creatures and held significant positions in first-level cities. Hearing about these perks, Xiaoyu liked the idea of joining the association. Xiaoyu then inquired about the obligations he would have to fulfill upon joining the organization. Dr. Lu assured him that there were no obligations and that the organizational structure was very simple. Everyone was free to act independently. However, she emphasized that whenever there was new information about a mythical relic, those who could listen to the voice of history needed to be the first to investigate. Dr. Lu proceeded to explain that the organization Xiaoyu would be joining was called the 11th Bureau, which consisted of a total of 11 people. With that, Dr. Lu officially confirmed Xiaoyu's membership in the organization. Dr. Lu informed Xiaoyu that he needed to pass an assessment before joining the association, which disappointed him. Unfortunately, Xiaoyu's current strength and abilities were not strong enough. However, the organization offered him 10 million to help him improve. His first task was to become a professional beastmaster and also to learn systematic archaeological knowledge. Xiaoyu promised Dr. Lu that he would do whatever it takes to succeed. Xiaoyu was excited about the idea of receiving 10 million and immediately started thinking about the green silkworms he could cultivate with that money. Dr. Lu informed him that tomorrow his documents and funds would be arranged, but she advised him not to casually expose himself in front of others to avoid attracting foreign spies. She assured Xiaoyu that she would be his main contact with the organization. Dr. Lu then explained Xiaoyu's assessment task, which involved investigating the historical truth of Icefield City. There was no time limit for completing the task, and upon successful completion, Xiaoyu would become an official member of the Bureau. Xiaoyu became thrilled at the prospect of uncovering the city's historical secrets. As a personal gift, Dr. Lu offered Xiaoyu anything he desired. He expressed his interest in obtaining a high-raised pet beast cub. Dr. Lu agreed but mentioned that he wouldn't be able to make a contract with a high-raised beast cub until he reached a higher level as a beast master. Currently, Xiaoyu was only a trainee beast master and could only contract one pet beast. Upon becoming a junior beastmaster, he could contract a second one. However, even with the required number of contracts, it still wouldn't be enough for Xiaoyu to handle the accelerated growth of high-raised pet cubs within the level of his royal beast space. Although Dr. Lu didn't possess much knowledge about iron eaters, she had heard that the Bamboo Stone Martial Art Museum in Pingcheng offered 2 skills for iron-eating beasts to learn. She promised Xiaoyu a recommendation letter, allowing him to visit the Zhuxi Martial Arts Hall and learn from the master there anytime. Dr. Lu asked Xiaoyu if he had considered cultivating the green silkworm into a crystal butterfly and making a contract with it. Xiaoyu explained that although he didn't have any specific plans for it, he couldn't help but be drawn to the idea because the green silkworm is known to be one of the most adaptable pets. Dr. Lu informed him that after successful breeding, the potential of the green silkworm could surpass even that of the iron eater. Therefore, it would be a great choice as his second pet beast. She then discussed 3 different routes to reach the commander level, each with its own characteristics. The first route involved the Ice Crystal Swallowtail, a low-level commanding beast with dual attributes of wind and ice. The second route featured the Ghost Beauty Butterfly, a medium-level leader with a dark attribute. Finally, the third route introduced the Butterfly Goddess of Light, a high-level commander with a light attribute. For Xiaoyu to evolve his green silkworm into the desired races, certain requirements must be met. These include having green silkworms before they form cocoons, reaching expert-level proficiency in worm silk, and maximizing the potential of the pet through Beast SP. However, achieving a perfect level of proficiency in cultivating green silkworms is extremely difficult, and it is not necessary to force it since their lifespan and talent are limited. Xiaoyu asked Dr. Lu if green silkworms could master supernatural levels of silk before evolving. She explained that it was not possible unless he could find a secret land or relic space suitable for their growth and invest heavily in cultivating them. This could potentially raise the worm's silk proficiency to such levels during their lifetime. Dr. Lu advised Xiaoyu not to be too greedy and emphasized that a higher level of worm silk in the green silkworm would be beneficial if he planned to evolve. Xiaoyu understood that the grade of the green silkworm, the level of the cocoon, the difficulty of breaking the cocoon, and the evolutionary potential were all interconnected. To successfully break the cocoon, he would need to awaken a powerful new racial skill within the cocoon and use that ability to break free. This process required providing suitable materials to the green silkworm before it formed a cocoon. Providing incorrect evolution materials would result in failed skill awakening and unsuccessful cocoon breaking evolution. Realizing that the evolution mechanism of the green silkworm allowed for breaking the conventional evolutionary methods, Xiaoyu decided to choose the evolutionary route of the goddess of light, deviating from the known paths. Dr. Lu had previously provided Xiaoyu with a detailed guide on the evolution of his green silkworm. Xiaoyu carefully read the guide at home. According to the book, the materials needed for the worm's evolution included the immature heart of light, mature sunflower petals, glowing cores, luminescent fungi, sunflower rock powder, and mature light-bearing grasses. Once the worm consumed these materials, it would form a cocoon. After spending 30 days in the cocoon, the skill rainbow light would be awakened. Subsequently, the worm would break out of the cocoon and evolve into a butterfly goddess of light. Xiaoyu found the process of evolution to be complicated and didn't know where to begin. Additionally, he realized that the materials mentioned in the guide were likely very expensive based on their names. Even the cheapest material, iron bamboo, was costly for him. Realizing the high prices, Xiaoyu decided to study a more cost-effective evolutionary route on his own rather than following Dr. Lu's suggestions. He visited a store to purchase a new phone and tested a model that met his requirements. He tried it out on a mechanical dog and was pleased with how it analyzed his stats. Xiaoyu particularly liked the pet identification function of the phone. Although he was considered a top student, his knowledge mainly revolved around creatures with extraordinary racial levels. With this new phone, he could quickly access information about various royal beasts he encountered in the future. While becoming an excellent beast master required personal effort, Xiaoyu believed that the aid of high-tech products would yield greater results with less effort. Dr. Lu had promised to transfer 10 million to Xiaoyu's account by the next day. However, when Xiaoyu visited the store, he decided to make the purchase that day rather than waiting for the money to be credited to his account. As Xiaoyu observes that 11 has been eating iron bamboo every day for the past month, he realizes that it's time to provide him with something better. He decides to acquire some iron heartwood, which can be considered a superior spiritual plant and is also a dietary staple for iron-eating beasts. This food source offers higher nutrition compared to iron bamboo. Typically, only supernatural level iron-eating beasts consume it as their main food. However, considering 11's consumption patterns, overnutrition doesn't seem to be a concern. Later at home, Xiaoyu receives a notification on his phone informing him that he can register for the Royal Beastmaster Association's wilderness training. Just then, 11 and the green silkworm express their hunger, prompting Xiaoyu to prepare their meal. After serving them, Xiaoyu informs them that they will be heading out to the field for practical experience the next day. 11 shows great interest, particularly in targeting the Wind Demon Lion as a challenge. Xiaoyu explains that the assessment scoring criteria for the experience is mainly based on defeating creatures and collecting rare resources. He assigns the fighting tasks to 11 and plans to utilize the green silkworm for gathering. The following day, Xiaoyu receives his 10 million and a recommendation letter from Lv.1. Dr. Lu explains that with the certificate, Xiaoyu will have the authority to explore most of the ruins. She mentions the presence of ice dragon relics in the Snow Mountain, but advises Xiaoyu to develop the necessary professional strength before venturing there, as even with cold-proof clothing, the extreme temperatures would be unbearable for him. Furthermore, Dr. Lu warns Xiaoyu not to enter the newly opened secret space as he wouldn't be able to handle it. Curious, Xiaoyu asks her about the contents of the secret space. Dr. Lu believes it won't hurt to tell him in advance and reveals that the secret relic space was originally the beast control space of the Beastmaster. Dr. Lu further explained that the relic space was highly unstable. Through experiments, it was discovered that only trainee Beastmasters could enter the space without any issues. If a Beastmaster's level was too high, their own Beastmaster space would react with the ruins, leading to space rejection. Such interactions could result in space collapse, which would be extremely costly. Ultimately, the most valuable aspect of the ruins is the ruins themselves. Dr. Liu tells Yu to prioritize investigating the secret realm ruin over the Ice Dragon ruins. She advises him to learn 2 new skills at the Bamboo Stone Martial Arts Hall with his Iron Eater. Yu realizes the 11th Bureau's significance as the ultimate power in the ancient kingdom of Donghuang, especially in dealing with various ruins. Despite re-entering the archaeological industry recently, he has already gained a high-level position in the prestigious organization. Suddenly, 11 undergoes an upgrade that surprises Yu. 11 has grown significantly larger and is currently in the fastest-growing stage. Yu proceeds to feed both 11 and the green silkworm their meals. He checks their levels and realizes that they cannot be considered ordinary beasts at their level. Their skill proficiency far exceeds that of beasts at the same level. Yu wonders what kind of assessment results he would achieve with 11 and the green silkworm if they were to participate in a field combat assessment test. Later, when Yu arrives at the association, he notices a crowd gathered there. It becomes clear that the association is organizing a field combat assessment to select a group of beast masters who lack potential. The chosen ones will then undergo further training in the secret realm. Eventually, another batch of trainee beast masters in Pingcheng will emerge qualified to undertake the professional examination. An official from the organization guides the participants to the training location at Tamer Mountain. She informs them that the training assessment will span 3 days and emphasizes the importance of punctuality. Further details can be found in the lobby. 3 days later, Yu arrives at the location and encounters Chen Kai, who appears to be in poor shape. Yu expresses his concern for Chen Kai's health. Chen Kai shares that his training method has been effective as his ice-armored beast has already reached level 7. He mentions that most of their classmates have also come to participate. Yu advises Chen Kai to be mindful of not consuming excessive supplements, to which Chen Kai assures him that he can control himself. He eagerly anticipates showcasing his performance in the assessment. Yu asks Chen Kai if he has participated in similar activities before. Chen Kai reveals that his school organized a similar event, but it pales in comparison to this one. Yu mentions that this is his first time participating in such an event and expresses his excitement. He inquires about Zhuang Yu and Yu Jingjing. Chen Kai informs him that Yu Jingjing was prevented from participating by her parents, while Zhuang Yu's Iron Eater wasn't qualified to join. Chen Kai is then called by one of his classmates and takes his leave. Just then, Zhu Wanchen, an official from the organization, commands everyone's attention. He instructs them to line up and sign the safety responsibility letter. Accompanying them are 4 professional beastmasters and a group of security personnel who are responsible for the participants' experience assessment. Once the safety responsibility letter is signed, Zhou Wanchen distributes a picture book to each of them. Zhou Wanchen informs the participants that Taiming Mountain is home to numerous fierce beasts and rare resources. These creatures and resources are documented in the provided album, each with corresponding points. To improve their assessment rankings, they must hunt ferocious beasts and collect rare resources to accumulate points. Before entering the mountain, the participants will be equipped with positioning and distress signal devices. Taiming Mountain has extensive security arrangements in place with stationed security personnel. If they encounter danger and wish to abandon the assessment, they can use the distress signal for help. Additionally, they can hand over their collected loot to the security personnel at a designated safe point along the way. Their goal is to amass as many points as possible within the 3-day period. At the end of the assessment, the top 20 beast masters will be granted permission to enter the ruins of the secret realm. As Yu examines the album, he notices that killing the python would reward participants with 20 points. The high-scoring tasks are clearly designed for beast masters who are confident in their own strength. He takes note of the python's berserk skill, which boosts its overall strength and speed but causes it to lose control. Mastering perfect level proficiency could potentially overcome this drawback. Yu then investigates the doubling technique, a skill that allows one to control the size of their body at will. In a reduced state, physical energy can be conserved to the maximum, and the recovery speed of physical energy is accelerated. In the giant state, energy consumption is high, but it grants more power at the expense of speed. Yu decides to acquire this skill. Zhao Wanchen announces that the training will officially begin in half an hour, and once inside Taiming Mountain, participants will not be allowed to leave unless there are special circumstances. Chen Kai approaches Yu, inviting him to join his group and classmates. However, Yu declines, believing that following their group would be inefficient and inconvenient. The assessment commences, and Yu summons 11, instructing him to remain vigilant of their surroundings. Yu and 11 set their sights on a long-thorn wild boar to warm up. Yu cautions 11 to be careful of the boar's fangs, which could cause paralysis. He also warns that the boar primarily attacks through rampaging, so they need to be cautious. Giving the command, Yu instructs 11 to go ahead and attack the boar. Using his supervision, 11 launches a relentless assault on the boar, repeatedly striking it. Eventually, 11 manages to knock the boar out, earning them 350 points. Xiaoyu is surprised at how easily they defeated the boar, knowing that Chen Kai and his ice-armored beast would have been capable of the same feat. It seems that at his level, even a wild boar can serve as training material. Meanwhile, at the organization, officials discuss how a trainee beastmaster ventured into the wild boar forest alone and killed a wild boar. They take note of Xiaoyu's Iron Eater, realizing that it is still at a low level, not surpassing level 7. They decide to keep an eye on him as it is dangerous to venture into the wild boar forest alone. However, they acknowledge that as long as Xiaoyu is wise enough to climb trees, the wild boars won't pose a threat to them. Back in the forest, Xiaoyu believes that 11 is now capable of defeating more wild boars. He commands 11 to attack the boars, surprising the officials at the organization with his audacious actions. 11 provokes the wild boars, causing them to rush in and attack him. Activating his hardening skill, 11 fights back against all 4 wild boars, scaring them and forcing them to flee. The officials of the organization are baffled by Xiaoyu's bold challenge against a group of wild boars. They realize that Xiaoyu not only possesses a powerful iron-eating beast, but also has an additional green silkworm. By capturing all 4 wild boars, Xiaoyu earns a total of 1750 points. Deciding to navigate through the wild boar forest towards the nearest safe area, Xiaoyu suddenly hears someone calling for help. He realizes that there are more wild boars ahead. Encountering 2 other beastmasters who are fleeing from the boars, they are shocked to see Xiaoyu not running away. Xiaoyu quickly deals with the boars, and one of the beastmasters recognizes him from earlier. Xiaoyu advises them to stay on the outskirts of the forest to avoid encountering more wild boars. Afterward, Xiaoyu reaches the safe area. And that's how the first part of this manhwa ends. Well guys, if you liked this video and you want a second part, comment below with the word part 2, also subscribe to the channel, hit the bell and like the video. But most important, leave a comment until the next video.